In this video, we will be laying out all of the Toolbox parts on paper. If we take a look at the original drawing, we want to locate our overall dimensions for our box base first. My overall height is 10 3/4 inches, and my overall width is 1 foot 2.5 inches. So I'm going to start by creating some reference lines beginning at 1 foot 2.5 inches wide. And I'm going to create one towards the bottom and another one towards the middle. I'm going to connect those together to create a reference line for the outside of my overall box. Next, I'm going to create reference lines at 10 3/4 inches, which is the same measurement as our overall height for our toolbox, and connect those together also. Now I'm just using pencil for this, and I'm using fairly light lines so I can go back and erase anything later. The next line that I'm going to draw out is my first operational line. This is a dashed line, which means that there will be some type of operation performed on this line. It is a 1/2 inch away from the top of our box base object. So again, I'm going to place some reference points and then connect those together with a light pencil line. After that, I'm going to be creating my number 2 operational line. This one is also a 1/2 inch away from the edge of my object. After that, I'm going to lay out my number 3 operational line. This line is located 2 5/8 inches from the bottom of the drawing. Once that number 3 operational line has been laid out, I'm going to lay out my number 4 operational line. We can either base this line off of our number 3 line, and that distance is 5 inches away, or we could base this off of our number 1 line, which would be 2 5/8 inches away. So that I can be a little bit more accurate, I'm actually going to add together my 5-inch measurement and my 2 5/8 inch measurement from the bottom of my object. This will help me be a little bit more accurate rather than basing a measurement off of a previous line and hoping that previous line is drawn correctly. So by adding together these two measurements, I have 7 5/8, and that is referenced from the bottom edge of our drawing. And we can then go back and verify our other measurements that they are correct. After that, I'm going to lay out my small notches on the side of the drawing. I can see that on my original drawing, the overall size of this notch is 1 inch. Given that I have already drawn this number 3 operational reference line, that line bisects this 1-inch dimension. So I can take that reference line and I can offset that a 1/2 inch on each side, and that will give me my 1-inch opening. And I'm going to place a few reference points and then connect those together. And I'm going to continue that for the other little notched areas. We can then go through and darken in all of our object lines and create dashed lines for all of our operational lines. And then identify each of those operational lines.